5 months ago, I did a poll on my YouTube channel in the community section, and I was asking all of you, my subscribers, my viewers, who would like to see a boiled versus steamed blue crab video. It's like a big rivalry type thing, has been for many years, between the East Coast up around Maryland and down here on the Gulf Coast. We do them two different ways totally, and they think they have the best way, we think we have the best way, and today I kind of want to settle that and see just what's up with that. And we're going to get started with that right after this.
If you want to cook backyard barbecue till you get your feel, you come to the right place. Restaurant Smoky Ribs. Smoky Ribs. Smoky
Before we get started, I want to give a big thanks to Cameron Seafood for sponsoring this video. They are the largest Maryland blue crab distributor in the world. They have over 10 locations throughout Maryland and Pennsylvania. They have 3 food trucks that also run in that area. I want to thank you very much for sending out some fantastic looking crabs. All right, also big shout out for Dave Bezick. Thank you so much for being a really good subscriber and loving my videos. And you're going to have to figure out who told me that. So thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. Big shout out to you, Dave Bezick. These crabs were shipped yesterday, according to what I got, the email, the shipping notification, around 3:30 Maryland time. They arrived here about 10:30 this morning, Saturday. So I haven't done the math, but that was way under 24 hours. Got the ice pack still nice and cold. They got wet paper on top of these. Wow, look at those. Beautiful. They're still alive. They're just dormant from being cold and chilled all night. If you were to set these down and let them warm up a little bit, they would begin to come back to life and go to snapping and all that good stuff. But nice looking crabs. Let's look under the belly there. Yeah, we got the rust. That's usually a good indication. Oh, I feel him moving. He's very much alive. All right, so it's time to get going with this steamed versus boiled and see what we can come up with, see what we can figure out. But I'm gonna tell you straight up, you know, it's only cooking methods we're talking about here. We're talking about boiling crabs. We're talking about steaming crabs. There's other methods as well. Hey Forrest, I know all there is to know about the crabbing business. You can steam them, you can barbecue them, you can grill them, you can bake them, you can broil them, you can fry them. You even got stuffed crabs, crab cakes, you got soft shell fried po' boys, you got crab gumbo, you got crab bisque, you got she crab soup, you got marinated crab claws, you got fried crab claws, you got crab dip, you got crab souffle, you got crab melts, you got deviled crabs, you got crab stuffed flounder, you got crab balls, you got crab salad, you got crab grits, you got crab pasta. That's about it. The whole point of that was to make a point that steaming, boiling, it's just two different methods of cooking crabs. There's many methods, you know, and there's many different recipes that you can do with crabs. So I hope I kind of drove that home to the people out there. And you might hear the burner fired up. We are dodging thunderstorms again today. I went ahead and fired up the boiling pot. We're going to start with the boiling pot. I'm going to show you here just in a few minutes. It's still sprinkling. It's fixing to move out. I'm going to show you the seasonings that we're adding. Woo! You can see the steam. We're up to a full rolling boil. Yes, sir. All right, we're gonna get this party started with 4.5 pounds of swamp fire seafood boil. Now I'm gonna show you how to kill that foam. Watch this. We're gonna go in with a couple of cups of liquid crab boil. It's gonna calm it right down. Now normally I don't use that much. I only use from about here to here, probably about 2.5, 3 cups. But with crabs, their shells are so thick and hard to penetrate, you really need to bump it up. I've got 2 Zatarain's extra spicy flow through crab boil packets going in. Got about 8 lemons. We're gonna squeeze them in, drop them into the boil mix. Last one. Now, as you're going to find out later, when you're steaming crabs, they use vinegar. I use vinegar too, but it's called Louisiana hot sauce in a boil. Gonna put this entire bottle in. All right, now for people that's watched previous videos, the bags I'm using are all cotton. There's no dyes, no anything added. These are boiling bags. These are what they're designed for. This is 4 onions quartered going in. This one is, I think, 5 or 6 heads of garlic, and I cut the tops off of those. And also I took some celery and I just diced it up really rough going in. So I'm gonna put my lid back on. I'm gonna cut this boil down some to where it's still boiling, but not as violent. Been going 15 minutes, and as you can see, that's a nice rolling boil. And I had this flame down as low as it can go, and the flame still stay blue without turning red. I'm just gonna prop my lid up right here. I'm gonna kill this fire. All right, fire's off. We're gonna load this thing up with 2 dozen crabs. 4, 5,
7,
6, 7. Is that 9?
8, 9,
10, 11,
12, 13,
14, 15, 16.
17, 18.
I'm gonna put my lid back on. We are fired back up. We're going full blast to achieve a rolling boil really fast. I tell you what, I just put all those cold crabs in there and we're already up to a rolling boil. Now I'm gonna time it. We're at 5:26. We're going to 5:29. I'm gonna kill this fire. All right, we've been going 3 minutes. They already red. I mean, just as red as they can be. Keep your lid on. Turn the fire off. Now we're gonna let these go 5 minutes just like this. That water is not gonna cool off much. In 5 minutes, we're gonna have some done crabs. And at that point, we're gonna cool them off. We've been sitting actually more like 7 minutes. And I hope you understand what I'm doing here. Most people tell you to boil these crabs for 10 minutes at a hard boil. Some say 15. And you're actually overcooking your crabs by doing it. What I done was put all the seasonings in here, got them to a rolling boil, had this as hot as it could possibly go, which is 212 degrees because I live at sea level. And then we turned the fire off, dropped the cold crabs in, and then fired it right back up. Within 30 seconds, this thing was already starting to boil. Not a hard boil, but starting to boil. Within another minute, hard boil. Boil for 3 minutes, put the lid, or keep the lid on, shut the fire off, and you're gonna maintain extremely high cooking temperatures compared to where the crab temperature needs to be internally without the risk of overcooking your crab and turning it mushy. So that's what we've done. Now I'm taking the lid off. So now I'm going on with the boil boss, got it in place. We're gonna turn this valve on and we're gonna cool this pot off. As you can see, it's got running water all the way around it, cooling the size of this pot. All right, so we're dealing with blue crabs with claws, and they're easy to knock off. Looks like most of them still have their claws intact that we put in here, so we didn't have any crabs shooting their claws off like you can do, especially if you don't ice them down. You can take a live crab, drop him in hot boiling water, he's gonna shoot them claws off. But Anyway, you want to do it very gently and let this boil balls do its job. It's going to cool this water down rapidly. We're just going to sit here and do this, keep this water moving for about the next 3 minutes. Now, if you'll take a look down this pot, you won't see any crabs. That's because all of them have sank. Just like crawfish, they will fill up with this water, this seasoned water with all this goodness, and they're going to sink, which means they're really taking it in. And all we're going to do now is turn this valve off on the boil balls. It has done its job. The water is cooled off enough to make them sink, and we're just going to let them hang out for around 30 minutes. And meantime, we're going to get the steamer fired up. We're going to do some steamed crabs. We're going to be steaming these first in apple cider vinegar. All right, we're going about half of this. This is 3.78 liters. Now into that, we're adding beer. Nobody said what kind. I'm using Bud Light. That's what I'm drinking. So hey, let's go for it. I'm gonna try to go in with 50% of one and 50% of the other. So I'm gonna get the rest of this beer in here. I'm going in with a 6-pack I think it's gonna take. All right, let me show you my steaming basket. Some of y'all might remember this from previous videos a couple of years ago. This has a hatch that you can actually put at any level inside this basket. If you can see here, I'm a couple, maybe 2.5, 3 inches above, and that's fine. You just don't want your crabs to actually get into the liquid. You want nothing but pure steam. So we're gonna go ahead and stack these crabs and make us a layer. So I think everybody knows what they use up there in Maryland, Old Bay. And it's not the only one. There's other seasonings that's become very popular up there. Just like our Zatarans down here at one time was like the only Cajun seasoning that there was. And now you got lots of them. So, you know, that doesn't surprise me. But we're going with the traditional, which is Old Bay. And all you want to do is just sprinkle these on your crabs and get a good heavy coating. Just cake it on there. All right, now we're going to build another layer on top of this layer. There we go. I'm gonna get this up to a steam, then we're gonna lay the crabs in there once it's up to a real hard steam. Ooh boy, I smell vinegar in the air. We are up to a steam. I just laid the basket in there with the seasoned crabs. We're going on with the lid. We're gonna let them rock for 20 minutes exactly. We have been going 20 minutes exactly. We're gonna take the lid off. Well, they're nice and pink. They look done. Let me cut this burner off. All right, I'm gonna take this basket out of here and we're just gonna set it off to the side, let these cool down a little bit. Then we're gonna put them in an ice chest just like the other ones, but in a separate ice chest to where we know, which is not hard to know which is which. The steamed crabs obviously have all the seasonings on top of them and the other crabs do not. We are done. We have got boiled crabs, we have got steamed crabs, and here they are. And if you're wondering why this one is upside down, I'm going to show you now because this is the first one I'm going to start with. We're going to remove this apron. We're going to remove the shell from the body. Now, I don't know if you see that, but that's pure liquid gold. This is the juice that you're trying to keep in this shell. That's the reason they go bottom side up. Now, all I'm gonna do from here is take and remove these dead man fingers. All right, now we're going to bend in, bend out. We're going to break it in half. We're going to remove this little piece of shell right here. And I'm going after the prize lump crab meat right here at the tail end of the crab. And there we go. Look at that. Lots of meat. And the reason for that being, from what I understand, is the waters get a lot colder there in Maryland, and crabs naturally just have a lot of fat stores, which lets the meat really pile on and everything for the winter months, so they survive. All right, here we go. That's my first Maryland crab, my real Maryland crab that I know for a fact that come out of the Chesapeake Bay. I've had crabs on the East Coast, but I was researching the other day and to find out there's been a shortage of crabs. There's been a shortage of crabs in that area for like the last 10 years, so they're actually shipping to a lot of places out of Louisiana. But these are guaranteed 100% Chesapeake Maryland crabs, and I absolutely taste the difference. This is fantastic. God, that seasoning gets in there so well. Now, I've heard people say that it's just a wet mess when you boil them and all that. I don't know. Let's zoom up on this. Let's see if we can show this meat right here. I mean, that is not a wet mess. That is just perfection is what that is. Moist? Yes, very moist. Delicious? You bet. We're going to go ahead and get into this Maryland style steam crab. Remove the apron. Remove the shell. Fold it, crack it open. Same thing. Move that little bit of shell there. Let's go for this lump crab meat. Look at all that meat. Oh my God, that's so good. There's a little bit of juice in there just from the steaming. I'll tell you the truth. The flavor is a little different, of course, because of the seasonings we used. But they're both excellent. I mean, oh my God, these are so good. I tell you what, I'm not going to take size because, and it's not because I don't mind getting beat up over it. It's because I honestly can't taste that much difference between them. One's not more wetter than the other. They're both great cooking methods. It's two fantastic ways of cooking crabs from two different regions. And I would encourage, if you're in Maryland, to give it a try. Try the boiled. And if you're down here on the coast, try the steam. Matter of fact, there's more and more places popping up that do steam crabs. There was a place about 3 doors down from where I was raised that boils crawfish. And they're doing steamed crab now. I mean, it's not a bad method at all. Neither is boiling. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I want to thank Cameron Seafood once again for sending out some fantastic, meaty Maryland blue crabs. Man, these things are fantastic. And anybody can get these, shipped it to the lower 48 like I said earlier. I'll have links in the description box for them. So if you've never tried this, you really owe it to yourself too. And you can order these already steamed, ready to go. You can either eat them cold when they get there, or he gives you instructions on how to reheat them through steaming. Very simple, very easy. Hope you enjoyed the video. Until next time, Smoky Ribs.